Rolling?
Yeah.
Okay. I am so excited. The day is finally here. I've got my coffee and I've got my new Terramow robot mower. And I can't wait to dig into this thing. Now, I, like a lot of people, have always been intrigued by robots doing stuff for me. And I don't have any in the house. I don't have any robot vacuum cleaners, never had a robot lawnmower before. And the reason is, every time I go look at these things, there's always some fatal flaw, right? Like, your robot vacuum cleaner can't go up the steps, and it can't go under something, and like, I don't want to have 3 or 4 of them around the house to actually do the job. So I get discouraged and I don't buy the thing. Robot lawnmowers, I've always wanted a robot lawnmower. It sounds so cool. But then you go and you look at them, and you gotta like lay a wire around the perimeter of your lawn, which one, sounds like a pain in the butt to do, and 2, I don't know, it just seems like, shouldn't the robot be smarter than that? Like, why do I have to lay all this wire around? It seems like totally ridiculous. And you got a strip of lawn here and a strip of lawn there. How's it ever gonna do it? So then I get discouraged. And then they come out with like the GPS thing with the RTK pole or whatever. I don't want to install a pole in my house. That sounds awful. But this one is finally the robot lawnmower that I've been dreaming of. It is completely computer vision driven. There are no wires. There's no RTK pole. This thing, you literally are supposed to just put it in your lawn and then it mows it, which sounds absolutely amazing. Maybe too good to be true. Now, this is not going to be a review video. I'm not going to show you the app and do all those things. I'm going to post a couple links down there for you to see that kind of stuff. I found 2 really great sources out there that do full reviews that gave me the confidence to buy this thing. What we are going to show you today, though, is this mower going up against what I think is a more complicated lawn than what I've seen on YouTube so far. So come out here and we'll check it out, all right? First of all, we've got a ridiculous driveway that's like super steep. I don't know if it'll come through on the video, but this thing, like literally, it's heated now, so I don't have to worry about it. But for the first many years that we lived here, coming out and snow blowing this or like clearing the ice was dangerous. And I've slid down this driveway several times. Now, the Terrmow says that it'll do a grade of 24 degrees. I had no idea what that meant when I bought it and I was out of town, but I didn't care. I was like, if our front lawn is bigger than 24 degrees, we're just gonna throw it at it and see if it works. And that's what we're gonna do today. We did measure it, and I think it was more like 16 degrees. So this looks really steep to me, but I think it's within the operating schematics and should be okay. So we're gonna find that out. The other thing is, we're on a cul-de-sac here, so like we've got lawn up here, we've got a lawn around the side, we've got this little strip of lawn down here, there's the lawn up front by the mailbox, there's a strip of lawn around the back, and none of it's really connected to each other. So what we're gonna find out is, can the Terramow figure out, with all its different zones or whatever, can it figure out how to traverse to all these different places, go up and down steep hills, and all around all the rocks and everything we have in the back? This is not just a square yard that we're gonna throw at it. So I'm really excited. And beyond that, you can see, if you come down here, we have not mowed in a while because I don't like mowing. And so the grass is pretty long. Here, let me just give you a real demonstration. That's pretty long. I think that's longer than I should have let it get. And so it's gonna have a lot of buildup, and it's wet. It's been raining all day. So when we fire this thing up tonight, like, we're gonna be throwing a lot of nasty stuff at it. A hill, wet grass, long grass. It might work, it might not work. I have no idea. We're gonna find out, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay, we're already getting in there. The first box was just a teaser box. This is like Christmas when you open up the wrapping paper and it's wrapped on the inside of the wrapping paper. We got another box here, the retail box. They know their market because look, what I told you earlier, no wiring, no RTK, vision is all you need, right? I don't think there's any other robotic mower out there that can say that. This is super cool. So here's the deal. All we've done is taken the quick start guide out of the box so far. Here's the plan. The plan is the garage is gonna go right here, okay? Right here in between these 2 bushes. And the mower is gonna back out and go do whatever it does. But here's the concern, okay? Right off the bat here, it wants, here we are, place the station. It wants 1.8 meters of lawn behind where the garage is gonna go. We have none. That's where we're starting. And we've got 1 meter-ish of sidewalk. Okay, that's the first concern. We don't have any of that. No, we don't have obstacles. Well, there's no house to the left or right. There's no house in front of it. Well, there is actually a house in front of it. That's okay. Flat lawn with no slopes, stones, or steps. This is a sidewalk. That's not on the list. So that should be okay, right? Like, that should be good. Strong signal. We got that. We're good. We got a strong signal. And then the other thing I'm concerned about here is it wants us to prepare our lawn. It says no sticks, no children. So we got to put them inside. No dogs. And then it says it needs to be less than or equal to 9 centimeters. Okay. Let's go at 16. Well, anyway. Okay, so it is mapping the front yard here, and it's going all over the place trying to figure it out, and it's struggling a bit with the very tall, very wet grass. It pretty much got through most of this. Like, it was kind of working, even though it shouldn't have been, but getting stuck in that bottom corner. So eventually we just gave up and said, we're gonna have to do a quick prep mow. It's the next morning, and I want to give you a quick update on how Marvin's doing. Oh, that's our name for the robot lawnmower. So let's see, last night we got pretty far, but it turns out Marvin is scared of the dark. So we had to tuck him in at bed at night and read him a bedtime story and wait for morning, which it is now. So remember, originally we were gonna put him kind of over here where I've got this outlet between these two bushes. It was proving kind of challenging for him to come out, you know, and back down the sidewalk here and get out to where he needed to go. And so we've tucked him just a little further over by the door, which works out actually better, I think. And then after we did that, we sort of realized that the best way for us to deal with this sort of like complicated start position, you know, where he's coming from here and he's got to get out to the lawn, you know, and navigate sidewalks, actually isn't to just trust the robot or use their little cones. I'll show later. They're in the garage. There's like pathway finders. They're, yeah, kind of cumbersome. Honestly, I'd toss them. So I said I wasn't going to do a review or show app screens, but I might actually show, because it was a little finicky to figure out how to manually set paths for the robot. So I might do that. But now it's great. He backs out. He actually goes across the rocks, which put a pavers down. It hasn't been a problem yet. If it becomes a problem, might take him down the driveway. But that all worked great. We did sort of give up, so I think I'm gonna have to like tape the quick start instructions back together that I ripped in half, because turns out they were right on about the 9 centimeters of grass. So hill, wet grass, 20 some centimeters. He was getting really stuck up here in the front area of the lawn, mostly this front corner. Everything else he was managing pretty well, but kind of up here he kept getting stuck, and he really wanted to fully map it. So we gave up and mowed the whole lawn last night, just so that he's got kind of the best chance of just mapping the thing the way he's intended to. One interesting thing was he got the whole front yard. That was no problem. Went across the sidewalk, got the strip of, you know, grass on the side of the city sidewalk. But what happened up here, you know, he kind of comes out right here into the grass, did the front yard, but he just totally skipped the backyard. And I was surprised by this, because there's plenty of a grass lane there. There's some pavers, but you know, there's plenty of a grass pathway. So we had to manually set a path there for him too, to kind of figure that out. So we'll show how we did that. Pretty easy, all things considered. So I'm gonna boot him back up. Yeah, so one point, the tape, the no-go zone tape that they ship in the box is worthless. I'll have more on that later, but I wouldn't even bother trying with that stuff. I mean, the trash barrier works way more effectively, easier to set up. Yeah, little pro tip. All right, quick update here. Terramow has finally gotten to the front yard, and wow, I'm gonna do a before and after, but look at the quality of this cut. I mean, it is nice, and down there low, we've got a lot of dead stuff from when we cut the 20 plus centimeter grass, but you can see the lines. It's like perfect. It's way better than anything we've ever done with the manual mower. Super impressed. Oh, and here is Terramow crossing the sidewalk like a pro.
Starting multi-zone pathway mode.
Marvin's ready to do an even more complicated crossing where it goes out on the sidewalk, down a little bit and into our side yard. Very cool. All right, we're going to show you, I think, probably the most important thing, arguably, that's not obvious out of the box with Terramow. It's how to set up a multi-zone crossing pathway manually, and it is a little bit goofy in the app. So I think this is the one kind of important exception to, I wasn't going to show you anything in the app. So we've got our Terramow here, we got our map all loaded in, and we're gonna take it out to where we want to set up a new, I guess we can just do it anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Let's just do it back there.
All right.
All right, that's close. So do you drive it out?
So you gotta come into the app here and click on the map, and you're gonna click on
Look at all that
this area
green
here
mode grass, amazing. Okay.
to get to your different areas,
Yeah.
and then you click create multi-zone pathway down here in the corner.
Oh, while it's still docked. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then
And then a little video tells you how to do it.
connect to Bluetooth.
Probably watch that. Okay.
Start remote control.
Entering remote control mode.
So now you drive it to where you want the start point to be.
Whoa, you've driven this thing before, huh? Okay, here we go. So we're driving to where we want the start point. Let's just do it like as if we're crossing into the neighbor's, even though it's weird because there's a virtual fence there. But
So look right here.
yeah, I think that's good.
Alright. So now you need to click set as start point,
Exiting remote control mode.
and then it will scan the surroundings to find where it is.
Oh, right, because it doesn't know its location.
Yeah.
Location successful.
Okay.
Starting point set successfully.
All right,
So
so
now-
now it's going to say that's the starting point, right? Now what?
Now you drive it to where you want the end point. So it goes a lot slower because it has to remember everything.
Nice.
And then there's a maximum distance of 60 meters for the multi-zone pathway.
So it didn't ever take you out of driving mode, did it? You were just in driving mode the whole time?
Not during when it was locating.
Okay, and then it just comes back to driving mode
Yeah.
on your app. I see. You didn't have to do anything?
No.
Cool.
So then once you get to where you want the end point, you just click set as end point,
Pathway setup successful.
and then you're done.
Mapping.
And then what's that look like?
But and then now it's gonna start mapping the area. Normally they'll show up as yellow lines. Like
Oh, yeah.
see you have
Yep.
the one to cross over the sidewalk, and then another one here.
All right, because we would have had to let it continue mapping.
And then it didn't understand this area, so we did a multi-path zone way, a multi-path thing, and then we put a mow section over it, so it still mows the area.
Yeah, and that other blue mow section is under the hammock. Show the.
Oh, yeah.
line. Yeah, and it just crushes it. Like it didn't want to do all that, but it went after all that space because we put the mow zone in there. So yeah, that's kind of the one tricky thing about setup is getting those pathway crossing zones in. But once you do that, you're good to go. Okay, so we're trying to find a hill that is more than 24 degrees for the Terramow. So we've come over to the neighborhood field for the middle school. Unfortunately, I'm coming up with 20 degrees here. So I don't think this field's gonna work for testing the grade limits on the Terramow. However, we do have with us, we're gonna do a small intermission because we have with us a Science Olympiad indoor flight plane that Asher's got. This is not from this year. This is from 2023, and we no longer have any room for it. So this is a replica of the plane that went to the state tournament in 2023. Didn't do so great there, so we're gonna see if we can beat the time that we got there at 5 seconds. We've got it all torqued up, and we're gonna let it rip and see what it does here outside. There's very little wind today, so hopefully we'll get it up there. How do you like that launch position, Asher?
It's fine.
All right, let it rip.
Okay.
Oh, we're safe.
Oh, we did it, guys.
indoor model plane flying outdoors. I guess we'll have the time on the recording. I should have started a stopwatch.
yeah.
But we'll have it. Oh no, it's stalling out. It's stalling out. Oh man.
Oh no.
We're hitting some thermals up there. This might end up in that tree.
I hope it does. That'd be cool.
It's definitely drifting that direction.
Just a little bit. Open it.
Okay, so hi, we're here with Terramow. We're at our second park. Been trying to find a grade that's higher than 24%, which is what it says its max is. It's actually pretty hard. This is the biggest hill we could think of, and we got a spot here that's 30% grade. And the grass is really long. As you can see, Terramow is kind of pushing the dead grass out of the way and going down the hill with no problem. So we need to figure out, it's in spot mode, by the way. We just held play for two seconds and then hit okay to start spot mode. So it's got no Wi-Fi or anything like that. It's just mowing till its heart's content.
Its usual working area. Please take note.
All right, now we're gonna try starting at the bottom of the hill, pointing up and see what happens. So, play button.
Please press the OK button to
Spot
start spot
mode.
mode. Ending task. Starting task. TerraVision loading. Starting blade disc.
Here we go. Moment of truth. We can get a better angle on this incline. You can get an idea. Wow. It's just going for it. Look at that. What a beast. Uh-oh. Oh, no. What's it doing now? Oh, it's just turned around. Guess it figures that's a big enough path. So, final thoughts on the Terramow. In short, this thing is amazing. I absolutely love it. It's mowing my lawn every day. We've had it for about a week now. Mowing better than I ever mowed with our Ego electric mower. It's nice and short piles and nice lines, and it just goes, on the schedule perfectly. Sometimes I send it out for extra mows just because it's kind of fun to be on top of it. But yeah, it's incredible. I mean, before this, I would, a week and a half would go by, and then suddenly we're living in a jungle, and I've got grass and I'm feeling guilty, and I go out there, it's a huge hassle with bagging all the super amounts of grass and putting in the compost, and none of that. So, a little bit of an investment up front, to get it set up and to get everything mapped. But, it was a day of, just kind of tinkering around, having fun, to be honest. Like, it was kind of enjoyable to figure out little learning curve things here and there. But after that, it just works perfectly. I mean, it does, the steep grade on our front lawn, which again, 16%. I thought it was more than that, but 16%, no sweat for it. It crosses over into all the different little patches, and even the little strip between the stone walkway steps and the driveway. Gets it all. It obeys all the virtual fences we set up. It does like mowing under the hammock, like all the stuff I was worried about, it just has like no sweat. To be critical, like some things in the setup process should be improved. This tape that comes with it to mark kind of a no-mow boundary, like a fence, to establish a fence, is horrible. It's slick and smooth and vinyl and high quality for certain. But it's just a pain to work with. I would say 80% of our struggle was with this tape. And, part of it is just, it's slippery, and you get it out there, and, they put the A team on designing the robot, I think, and maybe the B team on designing the stakes. You can put it on either side. On this side, this goes in the ground. On this side, it's like gravity pulls it out pretty quickly. It doesn't want to be there. On this side, I thought this was going to be good because like the tape has these holes in it that are supposed to marry up, and it's working with gravity when you go on this side, as you'll see. But truthfully, those holes don't even punch through. The posts don't even punch through the holes, and it doesn't lock in place. There's no way to lock it, and so
you know, it just immediately slips out. I mean, like it doesn't hold them in there at all. Even the wind blowing, this stuff goes all over the place. It's honestly a total nightmare. I wouldn't even touch it if I was setting up another one. Thing to do there is just let it map, let it get, you know, enough of the map. You can pause it while it's mapping and just drop in a virtual fence. And it's just a red dotted line across the thing, and it doesn't cross it. Works perfectly every time. So if you can manage to be kind of around it when it's doing its initial setup, which you're gonna have to be, you know, just kind of watch it. And when it gets into your neighbor's yard, pause it and put the line, and you're off and running and everything's good. I also kind of feel the same way about these things. We only got 4 of them, so I was worried that wasn't gonna be enough for all the different paths that we needed. Wasn't sure. I was like, oh, how do I go on Kickstarter and get more of these things? And then what do I do when I'm done? I'm gonna throw them all away. It's horrible. I thought maybe we could make our own because maybe they were standard barcodes, but there's different barcodes on every single angle. You're supposed to put them in the lawn where you want it to cross like a sidewalk or go to a different patch of lawn that isn't connected. And you have a little arrow to tell it which way to go, which in itself is kind of, you know, not great, you know, because you're putting it in the lawn where it's supposed to be mowing. So it's mapping around it and knocking it over, and they sent stakes with it to like stake it in the lawn. And then after it's done, you're supposed to be able to take them out. But you know, it's hitting it and it's not mapping that spot underneath it, which is weird. And just in general, it didn't feel great. Like we put it out there and it crossed, and we realized that's not the right place. We should move it down some, and you know, there's nothing to do. The manual zone pathing that we showed you, that's the way to go. I mean, it's a little cumbersome to like, you gotta get the map done, you gotta get it back in the home station, you gotta tell it that you're gonna do a manual one, you gotta drive it out, you gotta hit the start point, it's gotta find itself, you gotta hit the end point. But it works flawlessly. That's the thing. You can do it exactly where you want it to do and have control over it. And as you saw, it can even like come out and drive down sidewalks and do all kinds of stuff that you just would not be able to do by saying, go this direction. So definitely, I wouldn't even use either one of those things. If I was setting up another one of these, I would just let it map, pause it, fix things, and once it gets the first zone, load in the second zone. But yeah, I mean, it's 2 thumbs up for me. This thing is amazing. I had no RTK, no wires in the lawn. You know, at worst, I've had to rake up some stuff, you know, because it doesn't have a bag or anything. I think, you know, with the shortcut that we're doing very frequently every day or every other day, probably that'll be non-issue at the end of the day. But even still, raking up dry stuff for 5 minutes versus like mowing and bagging and hauling and all the things we were doing before is like a breeze and actually kind of enjoyable. So yeah, I love it. Definitely recommend. Just if you're thinking about it, got the money, just go buy it. You're gonna be happy. One more thing we need to do. Found a use for these stakes after all. Perfect.